Hello and good morning. Welcome to another edition of Trade Talks. My name is Lyanne Alfaro, and joining me today is Rosenzweig, President Director of Strategic Initiatives at RC Wealth, and Paul Landaiche Jr., General Partner, Rocker Fuel EXO. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about non-traditional investments with you both. So let's kick it right off. So tell me a little bit about what types of investments do alternatives include, and why invest in them?
Well, okay, two set of questions. So they include hedge funds, real estate, private equity, venture capital, things of that nature. I mean, the jury's out whether or not cryptocurrency will eventually fall into that realm as well. Why to invest in them? There's two main reasons for it. The first may be from a defensive perspective, which is, again, diversification. The idea of doing non-traditional investments in general is so that you have an asset structure that does not correlate with traditional assets. So that would be one aspect of it. The second aspect would be the opportunity. I mean, having the ability to come in on a pre-IPO stage, venture capital, sharing opportunities, those are all great reasons for the high net worth and institutions in general to get involved with that type of investment structure.
Absolutely. Now, could you tell us a little bit about alternatives? What role do they play? Are they for everyone?
Well, again, there's rules for accredited investors at this point, and the rules have changed. There's actually a new rule that I just became aware of that was approved in November that has opened up the door for accredited investors to include financial professionals. And I would suggest you Google it. I Googled it on my train ride here to take a look at it. So the definition has opened up to a degree, but it's still, you're dealing with people that are sophisticated in knowledge, that have a high net worth or that have a high income stream, that have some wariness relative to the risk and the pitfalls associated with getting into this boutique type of investment. And again, going back to what I said before, it's diversification and it's opportunity.
Now, tell us, what percentage of individual investors are invested in alternatives? Could you speak to that a little bit?
Well, what's interesting is when you look at wealth managers, when you look at registered investment advisors, actually not many. So 96% of all investors are really dispersed among three asset classes: equity, fixed income, and cash. And you wouldn't think that that's the case. And the concern here is that these individual investors that go to institutions do not have the opportunity, nor are they shown other alternative asset classes as would be appropriate for them. So we feel, in particular at Rocker Fuel EXO, that it's an opportunity for us to educate the investor, to provide registered investment advisors and other institutions that serve individuals an opportunity to see what's available out there.
Great, and that's great to expose them to that. Now, tell us, what about the growth? Where is the growth within the alternative space and to be invested in alternatives?
What they're statistically, what they're saying right now is private equity is a big one. Venture capital and private equity. Real estate, again, people know real estate and that's always a popular investment. But again, what you're looking at are two reasons for growth. One is the investments are changing. They're becoming more liquid in nature, or they're becoming possibly more short-term in nature through interval type of investing. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the fact that you're dealing with a different type of investor. You're dealing with a savvier investor who's exploring for alternatives, whether it be a millennial or Gen X or Gen Y. They're looking for something that's different from the traditional, and because of that, and the big boom in technology, they're looking for opportunities to get in on a pre-IPO or venture capital type of stage.
Now, Paul, coming from Rocker Fuel EXO, could you tell us a little bit about nature of it and what the opportunities are for your company in terms of being interested in investment?
Rocker Fuel is a private equity venture capital firm, and really we operate in the realm of what's called exponentiality. Exponentiality as a concept arose ironically in 2008 when everything was happening in the financial markets, and there were three gentlemen, Kurt Sweil, Diamandis, and our Rocker partner Salim Ismail, came up with the concept, and it arose, of exponentiality, and that is that there are certain industries and institutions that are experiencing what we would call exponential growth. And we feel that this is an opportunity for all investors to take part and participate in this growth through vehicles like venture capital and private equity. But as we've seen, a lot of these investors just don't have the opportunity.
And so you're making them aware of this opportunity.
Yes.
You've expanded on a little bit. Great. So now venture capital investing is obviously a very risky undertaking in various circumstances. So how does Rocker Fuel EXO approach that?
Well, we think we provide something that's unique and different, right? It's an opportunity for the investor to have a diversified, globally positioned venture capital fund that provides them with downside risk mitigation. It provides them with access to company builders, incubators, and accelerators from all over the world in such a manner that they get professional management. So we feel that we have addressed the major obstacles of what traditionally has been venture capital, and that is exclusivity. It has been in the past something that individual investors have not been able to approach because it's been held closely by the institutions, the large trusts, the endowments. But now we, through our fund, give the individual investor something they haven't had before, and that is the ability to go through their investment advisor or local wealth manager to find access to that and make sure it fits appropriately within their portfolio.
Okay, and one last question for you, Paul. So let's talk about the secret ingredient. What is the secret ingredient that your firm offers to the investment professional, such as perhaps Irv or an individual investor, to assist in achieving upside potential?
Well, I think that like any investment, it has to be appropriate for whomever it is, the individual, the institution, whatever. But with Rocker Fuel, what we did is we feel that we've disrupted the industry, right? It's about exponentiality. It's about transformational growth. It's about understanding that the economy in the world has changed completely. We used to think of our industry so much differently. Economists used to think that the industry was divided up into 3 sectors. Now they're 5. We're now experiencing the 4th industrial revolution. We're now seeing that there's opportunities out there globally for investors that they really need to attach to. And if you can do it in a risk mitigated fashion, if you can do it as part of a portfolio that includes multiple asset classes. So the idea being that stocks, bonds, and cash, which traditionally have been available through your major wirehouses and institutions. Now, if we can allow them an opportunity to at least put 2, 3, 4 additional asset classes in their portfolio, their optimal mix of risk and reward is better. So you look at it on a rearward basis historically, and the performance is better. If you look at it forward thinking with your financial planner, what you realize is it means something to my portfolio. It's impactful. So they're accessing transformational growth opportunities through Rocker Fuel and touching those companies and industries and institutions globally that can provide them what they need for their growth.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Paul and Irv.
Thank you.
And looking forward to having you back soon.
Thank
You
you.
as well. Thank you again.
All right, Trade Talks followers, thank you for joining us on another edition. Don't forget to stay tuned. We have more coming to you soon. Stay tuned.